Hi everyone, this is Phonics 76, and this is take 2 because internet sometimes doesn't like us. As you can see, I've already gone through the whole lesson, so we're going to use this paper and go through it again. All right, so I want you to echo these words and listen for the sound that they all have in common. Germ, ginger, gym. That's right, you hear the J sound, but it's not made with a J. Look at these words here, germ, ginger, gym. What letter do you think is making that J sound? That's right, it's G. Okay, how many of you knew that G could sound like J sometimes? Giving us more stuff as if it wasn't confusing enough. So when G is followed by IE or Y, so as you can see up here, when G is followed by IE or Y, that's when it sounds like a J. And the way that we code that is with a dot above it to remind us that it's saying that J sound. So we went through and we gave all of our G's for those words, dots, and then we're going to look and see what other coding they need. So we've already looked at them once. So E and R is a combination, E-R, so we code it with an arc, so germ. Over here we have an I and an E, and if a word has more than one vowel, we code underneath with a V for vowel and code the letters in between. So this has a C because it's a consonant and a consonant. So this is a VC-CV pattern, which we divide in the middle of the two C's. So then once we have that, we look at each side separately. So over here, the vowel I was followed by N, so we gave it a breathe because it doesn't have room to say I. It's going to say its short sound, which is I. So we have J-N, gin. And over here, this G, again, was followed by an E. So our rule for G followed by an I-E or Y sounds like a J. So J and E-R is a combination again, so we code it with an arc. So we have ginger. Now, most of the time, on two-syllable words, the accent is on the first syllable, but you always want to check because the syllable goes to the accent mark goes to the syllable that is longer, louder, or higher. So sometimes when you say it, it might not sound right, but this one is on the first one, ginger, okay? All right, over here, we have the Y in the middle of the word and it's followed by a G, and so it's gonna act like a vowel. So Y, when it acts like a vowel, we give it a dot above it to remind us that it's not acting like Y. And because it's making the I sound, which is the short I sound, we're going to give it a breathe above it. J-M, gym. Because it doesn't make sense as a jime or a jam. So that's why. Okay, then we practiced a few more words that we were going to see in your practice that you're going to do on your own. So we had this sentence. Again, if you have more than one vowel, you want to put a V underneath both vowels and code the letters in the middle. So we have a VCCV pattern again. Paper caught up. All right. So we have a VCCV pattern. We divide in the middle and we code each side separately. So the A is followed by a consonant. It should get a breathe. Over here, the E is followed by an R. It's part of a combination, so it gets an arc underneath. So we have plaster. And again, the accent went on the first syllable. Now, sight words, you can either circle or code. This one we could code because I is followed by a consonant. It says is. Okay, on this word, we do have two vowels. The reason we didn't code underneath is because this is a VCE pattern, a vowel consonant E. And vowel consonant E is sometimes called sneaky E or silent E. That E gives all of its power to the vowel so that the vowel over here can say its name, even though it's followed by a consonant. It's going to say its long name. So it gets a macron. That's the line. So it's m-aid instead of mad, made. And you don't hear the E, so we mark it out. This is a sight word that doesn't follow the rule, and so we just circled it. Then over here we have a G followed by a Y again, so it's going to get a dot above it. We know that G is going to say J, and that Y is acting like a vowel, so we're going to give it a dot. J, I. Oh, And since Y is acting like a vowel, we now have two vowels in this word. So then you put a V under each vowel and code in between. So we have a consonant and a consonant because P is a consonant and S is a consonant. So now we're going to divide the line in the middle. So now we have, again, this is acting like a short I. So that's one thing we left out. It's not saying I, it's saying I because it's followed by a consonant. So we have j, ip, jip. And over here we have the vowel followed by a consonant. So it's going to say the short sound. It's going to say it gets a breathe. Some, gypsum. And the accent goes on the first syllable this time as well. Okay, so now you get to go and use all the coding that you know, as well as everything we've done in class. So I'm going to go over reviewing what we've done in class. So trigraphs, you're going to underline them like a digraph, like TCH is a trigraph. G's that sound like J's, you're going to give them a dot. Digraphs, you underline them. Combinations and diphthongs, we're going to put an arc, like the combination ER. A diphthong is like OU, mouse. It's going to say owl. We code C's that sound like S's with a cedilla. It's called a cedilla C. And we code C's that sound like K's with K-backs. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at our posters around the room to help me remember what all y'all need to review. We code Y's that make a vowel sound with dots. We went over that. What if we have a vowel that makes a schwa sound? Like people, when we're reading, when we're reading out loud orally, we want to sound proper, and most people say the instead of the, even though you can read it either way, but most people say the. And so if you wanted to code that E, but if it says instead of E, it would be with a schwa, which is an upside down E above it. Final stable syllables like PLE, pull, and BLE, bull, we code those with a bracket. And we accent the syllables before the brackets. And I think that's most of what you're going to see on your practice page today. All right, let's hope this one recorded.